Well, welcome back to Peony Lore, all of my Aries friends. We are going to focus on the energy of the Scorpio season. I'm doing it this way this month because it is extremely important that we all understand how unique this particular season is for all of us. This is the first time where we have Pluto in Aquarius. It's a big deal, and we want to make sure that we're giving it its proper energy. One of the co-rulers of our Scorpio season is your ruler. It is Mars. And so from this vantage point, we're going to look at the entire 5 weeks of this Scorpio season. We also have a Mercury retrograde that is already in the loop here as we're at the beginning of Scorpio season, and so that is going to shift and change a few different things for us. If you're an OG, welcome back. You kind of know what it is that we're doing here. If you are brand new, welcome. So we are going to start off with our standard sacred geometry. And because of the alignments that Aries has for the majority of this whole entire Scorpio season, you are going to be very much in your head. And that is literally because Mars, your ruler, and Mercury are hanging out together. They will make a switch in a couple of weeks. So if you find yourself challenging the different thoughts or different thought patterns that are coming up within you, try 852 hertz. This frequency will help support the clearing of anything that's going on within the third eye and the crown to assist you with receiving more information. It is very necessary for all air and water signs this month to do the same. However, specifically Aries, for you, because of the double importance that you're getting with all of these pieces, that you pay attention to what's going on. Not only do you have Mars and Mercury, the chatty Cathy of the universe, right, in effect challenging our intuition at times, you have the, I think I'll put this right here. You have a lot of Chiron placements that are still there, so a lot of carrying the things that we're supposed to be working on for carrying also showing up in your field. And of course we're going to have some other things that are going to do a little bit of a flippity flop back and forth here and there. So you're going to want to make sure that you're paying attention. So if you're watching the daily astrology transits that I do, then I want you to focus mostly on what it is that you can see going on with Mars. However, in this broadcast, we're going to try to give you everything that we can until we get up to our Sagittarius season. So we're going to focus on the energies for the next couple of weeks. Sagittarius season starts technically on the 21st, right after the new moon in Sagittarius. So that is how we're going to do this. So I'm going to put one of the main in between with Janine cards down for the week, and then we're going to clarify some of the details with our little guy here. If you know, you know. And we'll see if Spirit wants to have me bring in any additional information as far as oracles or anything else for you. I'm excited to do this. It's been a hot minute since I've done the long form, but this is important. This is going to be an extremely transformative period for all people. So let's just go ahead and get started. Week 1, so to speak. You guys know we are in the energy of week 1 because today is the beginning of Scorpio season. If cards are sideways, that means we are already in the flow. Here we go. Week 1, week 2, week 3, come on out, you flipped, come on out. All right. Week 4, we're going to take the one that's up, and week 5. Makes a little bit more sense why the intuition and wisdom is coming in from what I can see with this star. But let's get to week 5 here. There it is. The Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so reviewing, what we have here is the Two of Cups. We have the Star. We have the Four of Pentacles reversed. We have the Four of Wands, and then we have the Ace of Pentacles. So this Scorpio season, for Aries is officially affecting your 8th house. Now, the 8th house has everything to do with other people's money, which is how a lot of people describe it, and that's fine to do so. It is in direct ways that you will receive income, business, things of that nature. Even if you're a business owner, other people's money could sometimes be clientele, but it's indirect ways that you're going about it. Think about someone that has like a recurring revenue as opposed to a direct sales sort of a platform. But the other thing the 8th house represents is the way that you personally are interacting with your, shall we call them, adult hug time, if you know what I'm saying. Your sacred sexuality is very much steeped into the energy of the 8th house. And so if you are married or if you are in a committed relationship, you definitely want to make sure you're paying attention. If you are single, ready to mingle, and this does not resonate with you, then you're going to want to pay attention towards where it is that you have Venus in your particular chart, and then go back to that reading just to give you a little bit of assistance. But let's go ahead and start off with what we're starting off with. Here, this first week, we are in it, effective here on the 23rd. We have a doozy of a day here on this first day. The moon in Scorpio is having a conjunction with Mars, your ruler, and Mercury separately. And then there is a separate trine that is going on with Jupiter in Cancer. The sun is going to be having a quincunx with Uranus, which is shock and awe energy. And then towards the latter part of the day, you get the energy of the moon having a trine with Papa Saturn. So this first day is heavy, heavy, heavy water energy. And so the 2 of Cups traveling into the 3 of Cups is just indicating that, again, if this is a relationship or even contract based, there is a way for things to move forward in a very beautiful and positive way. So this is the energy of week 1, but I do want to finish off the details because this will be the week of the 26th and so on and so forth. So let's grab a couple of cards here and see if we can clarify a little bit more about the 2 of Cups into the 3 of Cups to see what else the specificities are for all of our Aries sun, moon, and rising. Are welcome to look at this or anywhere else you have Aries very heavy in your chart, of course. All right. Thank you guys for doing the shares, the likes, the comments. Yeah, Ace of Cups in the reverse position is the past. So this is fluid energy, maybe necessarily not feeling the best. The thing about the Ace of Cups for me is that it's more powerful than the Ace of Pentacles because the Cups energy can heal anything that's going on that has created an issue in all areas and walks of life. Mental, social, emotional, physical, all the things, right? So the Ace of Cups in reverse, past energy, 3 of Pentacles, sort of trying to get the numbers up, again, if you're looking at it from a financial perspective. But even if this was a romantic or a connection issue, that's just sort of the things that we see there. Yep, heavy energy with the moon. The moon revealing things. Of course, we just had the new moon this week on Tuesday, and then the 2 of Wands energy showing up. So a lot of decisions and things of that nature could be affecting the way that you're thinking about how things are going with other people's money. Of course, if you are married, this could have very direct energy with your person, your partner. The Magician card is Mercury in the reverse position. That conjunction that is literally taking place today is going to affect the way that you are communicating. So communication is highly important for the remainder of this week because the conjunctions last for a significant period of time. So when we have the Magician in the reverse position, it can indicate that there's a problem with communication. It could also indicate that there is something that could possibly not be going in the right direction for you. The final card that we have here is the 4 of Pentacles. However, that 4 of Pentacles is talking about opening up the heart space. It is talking about becoming a little bit more open-ended when it comes to a conversation. So we're looking at, the energy of 2 people or a contract or something else trying to come together, trying to work it out together. We're trying to get to that 3 of Cups energy where we have a blended opportunity that's sort of showing up. In the past, there was an energy issue with the resources or the flow, specifically with money or the way that the conversation might have been going. This moon revealed what needed to be revealed with it being in the reverse position, and the decision has finally been made. This is just sort of being timid about whatever the conversation or situation could be with this Magician in reverse. And again, the Four of Pentacles is opening itself up, which leads into the Star card that starts us here on the second week of Scorpio season. And when we get towards the 26th, we will have the energy of the moon switching at that point into Capricorn. Later on in that week, it will switch into the Aquarius and then end up in Pisces mode. And it is actually on the second quarter moon where Mercury is going to shift itself out of Scorpio, and it's going to move this particular week into the sign of Sagittarius. So you will have more than likely improved communication because you have another fire sign that's helping to draw in the energy for what it is that we want to have. But we have the Star card mixed in with the energy of the moon. So whatever was happening here with the moon, whatever was revealed, leading itself up into the heavens, healing, putting some favor on. Perhaps you did some new moon wishes, or if you didn't, that's okay. But when the Star card comes in, it's letting us know that we have the opportunity to just hurry up and wait. The universe is taking care of things. It's allowing things to come together in a co-creative fashion, and it allows us to be able to think more positively about the perspectives and the other things that we have going on. As far as your particular sign, when we get towards that second week, we still are going to have all of the same, how do I want to say, a lot of the same placements as far as the alignments. So Aries, Mars, Mercury, the Neptune, and the Jupiter, which are all favorable for use very specifically in that expansion. So this does talk about new resources and things of that nature coming in. That alignment stays with you. When we get to this particular week, the only other big thing that comes in is the energy of the opposition that you guys are going to see, which is going to be the Uranus in Gemini. So it is a little bit of shock and awe detail that sort of shows itself up a little later on in that week, but shocks do not necessarily have to be bad. That will be taking place on the same day, Wednesday, when the Mercury moves into Sagittarius. So keep your mind open and positive about what could be showing up. I can move these over just a little bit, got a little bit of space. I don't want to crowd. So we have the Three of Wands in reverse into this King of Cups. That's beautiful. So Three of Wands reverse has that frequency of something not quite being in alignment in the past, but then something opens itself up. So just make sure that you're going slow. That second week, King of Cups energy very specifically is where we honor the Pisces or the moon frequency, okay? So if it does look like there's something a little bit shaky those first couple of days in the week of the 26th, don't stress yourself out. Now, technically, the other big thing that happens is the 27th, there are 0 transits whatsoever. Not one iota of switch or change in the planet, which is really where I sort of think that Three of Wands there's no motion. There's literally 0 transits taking place. King of Cups is moon energy, Neptune energy, Pisces energy, if you will, and so that just sort of leads itself. Let's get a little bit further on down the line here. There it is, 7 of Pentacles coming up, which means now the options for you evaluating the opportunities that are coming in from anybody, any contract, any conversations that have taken place between you and your person are going to start to open themselves up. It wants to be that one. Forgive my fat fingers. It was already starting to pop out. So then we go into the 9 of Pentacles. Again, because this is 8th house energy, Scorpio season all month long is going to be affecting that 8th house. You have to be mindful of who it is that you are dealing with. And so again, this could very directly be involved with the person that is in your world, in your space. 7 of Pentacles into 9 of Pentacles reversed. This is a conversation about should I or shouldn't I? How is this going to affect me? Or what is the situation that is affecting us here that could potentially be causing a little bit of strife when it comes to maintaining independence and being grounded? I would say for some people with that Star card showing up here, it's almost likely that you have some big pot that has shown up, a big contract, a big win as a potential, and people are just sort of off their heads a little bit, if you will. And there it is, you, the Emperor, showing up in the reverse position on this particular day. You have to just make sure that whatever positive energy is showing up for you, you are keeping yourself level-headed and grounded, right? Getting back into the intuition and the wisdom. Don't let somebody talk you out of something that belongs to you. So this very much has that Uranus shock and awe. Things are going to be changing very, very quickly. So you're going to have to be mindful of the conversations and the other things that take place. Again, your actual alignment with the things that are going positively with Mars are all of those things with the Jupiter and Cancer. Those are the directs. But the other thing that comes in is Neptune. You do have a trine that shows up with Neptune in that week as well. So when you start to push forward, if you are starting to go off into dreamy, airy fairyland, bring yourself back into grounded formation and do some higher meditations and things of that nature. Still not a bad week. It just is. If you know your secondary placements, make sure that you are watching those broadcasts as well. Blend the two of them together. So pretty much what it looks like to me here energetically is just that you don't have... You're waiting for the next thing to take place. There's a little bit of nervous energy or very excited energy here. You just don't know what you don't know at the moment, and so the universe just needs for you to hang out. Because this third week, okay, and you do have a little bit towards the end of the week, like on Halloween itself, I believe, is where there's an actual square. So the moon, which will have traveled at that point into the sign of Pisces on Halloween, actually does have a square with your planetary ruler Mars. So when that takes place on Halloween, it just means that there's a little bit more low-key vibe. It sort of takes your push of energy away. It could also explain feeling very sensitive about how these changes show up a few days before, how it is that you could just be sort of wanting to do a little bit more rest. But again, when you get towards that Wednesday, Wednesday is the 29th, you've got Mercury changing positions into Sagittarius, which should lead to a little bit more optimism, but then also there is a trine that shows up with Papa Saturn. So the other thing on this very specific day, because Mercury is moving into Sagittarius, that is having its own opposition with Uranus, which is that shock and awe planet. So you just have to allow for things to show up to the surface, and if it's just sort of giving you a little bit of pause, I wouldn't worry about it, because you end up, from whatever happens this first week, Four of Pentacles reversed, Four of Pentacles reversed shows up twice. That means that there's open-ended conversation. It means that things are becoming steady. It means that the weight of what the star card was telling you about is pretty much on point, because the following weeks lead you to the Four of Wands upright and then that Ace of Pentacles. So it's almost like we're waiting for the contract to finish going through all of its conversation pieces and all the other things that are taking place in order to allow you to get going with what you need to get going with. So now we're looking at the week of the 2nd of November, okay? And I'll be honest with you, the best week of this particular month for our Aries is going to be, again, sort of around the frequency of the 11th and the 12th. Those days are going to be your best days. That's going to be here in this week. I'm just letting you know in case you have to plan for anything. But technically, the Four of Pentacles being reversed is a beautiful energy for you guys, because it opens up what needs to be discussed. Whatever was held back in conversation, communication is no longer a factor. When we get into the second week, you still have the grand trine of Mars, Jupiter, and the energy of now Papa Saturn being in agreement, Mercury being in agreement, and Neptune being in agreement. So that means that the energy is opening itself up. So these are still really, really good days for our folks ruled by Mars here. Let's see if there is anything specific that I can recall. I don't think so. I think everything else is we're just gonna go ahead and jump into it. Now, when we get towards the 4th, okay, of the month, the 4th of November, Mars, which is in the sign of, Mars goes into Sagittarius. So Mercury will have moved, and now Mars, your planetary ruler, moves into Peppy Sagittarius when we get to the 4th. So that is, upside down, sorry. So that, so that is brilliant energy for you, because now you have the power of all fire sort of trying to come together. And on this particular day, the moon will have moved into Taurus, its exalted position, which opens up resources, finances, and things of that nature. So it's actually going to be a really, really good day for all Mars-born people. So the only thing that comes in on this day, again, which is going to be hovering over from this other week, is that Uranus opposition that shows up within Gemini, which again, you got to keep your head on a swivel, keep yourself grounded, make sure that you are practicing clearing, cleansing, and keeping your mind a little bit organized, because it does look like there's some great things. Let's move in with some verification here with some of these little guys and see what we got. All right, so first card out is this Knight of Pentacles. Yup, I'm going to move these over a little bit because I have more space. No need to crowd. Knight of Pentacles. Guess who belongs to the Knight of Pentacles? So, Knight of Pentacles is obviously, can necessarily be called any of the earth signs, but technically it's a little bit more Virgo and Taurian energy when it comes into that, and I'm always going to go Virgo. Long-term plans, long-term gains. What are we going to do with all of this bread? What are we going to do with all of this information, sort of energy, whatever it is, we're opening ourselves up to it. But this seems to be the week where we're getting all of the green lights when it comes to the resources. So you got Knight of Pentacles, long-term gain. Again, if this is personal, relational type of a thing, I would indicate that whatever conversation needed to come up, things aren't going well, let's try to figure it out. I'm not really sure what I want to do. I really want to be with you. I've got to figure out how I make this work. We figured out how to make this work. Knight of Pentacles, long-term gain showing up here. Then we go into the Five of Cups reverse. Perfect. So whatever was the issue has been corrected and healed here by the time we get towards this first full week of November popping in here. Now, when we get towards the latter part of the week, you still have benefit. You still have beautiful things that are coming in to your space. Let's see what else Spirit has to say. It's just a matter of some of the other signs going a little bit catawampus because, oh, you want to stop it here? Five of Swords. Okay, so it's not necessarily you, which is literally where I was going in conversation. You may have to be the intermediary for other people. You may have to do some conversation. You may have to get into your brains, and there is the Hermit card that shows up. You might need to help somebody else with details. You might have to help somebody else with the way that things are moving. Maybe someone's not feeling comfortable with the contract. There could be, maybe the ink is not all the way dry. It could be that 30-day period or 60-day period, whatever comes out of that situation for someone that says you have a little bit of time. Yep. And your best effort is just to help somebody reread, re-understand, reiterate, if that's what you need to be able to do here to assist. But this is more you helping somebody assist. However, when we get towards the energy of the 6th of this week, okay, the 5th we have a full moon. That full moon being in the sign of Taurus is still very, very good energy. It's very financially based. That is what Taurus is all about. Then when we get into the energy of the next couple of days, we have Venus. Okay, Venus is going to move into the sign of Mercury. That is a blessed, into the sign of, excuse me, I said Mercury, but Scorpio. And those two don't necessarily love each other. Venus and Mercury will do what needs to be done, but they don't necessarily love each other. But what we're talking about is the best way to use energy is to conserve it with the Hermit, and the High Priestess is like, yeah, go here. Go here. Hang out here. Let's focus on withdrawing from too many people out there that are causing a little bit of chaos, and let's focus on ourselves a little bit. Let's give Venus an opportunity and Mars to work out what needs to be worked out, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, final cards on that, or do we want to end with the High Priestess and Virgo? Nope, there said nope, that's it, pretty much. this week here. There's a lot of great things. Other people just might need to be consoled a little bit. Then you get into the week of the 9th, okay? The week of the 9th, this is the day that Mercury goes retrograde, and the only additional thing that's going on in this particular moment, because it happens so late in the afternoon, is that whatever energies have been kicking off from this previous week, the previous weekend, most of this is going to be Mars having a quincunx with the moon at that time in Cancer, again slowing things down. We have a little bit of that when we show up here, because there will be Cancer moon, which is fine, because that 10th energy that comes in here, the moon is going to have a conjunction with the Jupiter, and that is going to benefit you because also the moon has a trine with Mars again. So the moon on the 10th, however, is switching into the position of Leo. So you get all the benefits again of that fire combination, fire sign, okay, and 4 of Wands. That's steady energy. Okay, you're in your home zone, you're coming out of the water world, and you're going back into fire. And so the 4 of Wands energy is here to let you know that there is stability. Okay, there is stability. 4 of Wands is like that 1111 card we always like to talk about. And it just shows up to let us know that things are going in our favor. Queen of Wands energy, this looks good. That is you, Aries. You are back in the saddle again. Yes, you have a minor arcana version. That is you, the Queen of Wands energy. You're back in the saddle again, trying to get these things organized. It basically looks as though it's going to be a good week for you again. The only thing that's going to start to pop itself up that is going to maybe challenge some people, okay, not everyone, but some people, is going to be the opposition that shows up with Mars and Uranus. Again, the official staging of the opposition going on with that Mars and that Uranus, because Uranus can just be, it's hot and cold, okay, and the fact that it's in Gemini, you just have to keep your head on a swivel, okay. We have the energy of the 9 of Wands in the reverse position, so yeah, okay, there could be so much energy that goes on that you might just need a little bit of a breaky break. You might need to just be able to work through knowing when to leave the party, so to speak. When is it going to be a little bit too much for you? Or just be prepared that you don't have to stay for the whole thing. With Mars being in Sagittarius, it gives this sense of extreme optimism, and sometimes it's a little too much, and you just need to, the party's from 7 to 10, you roll out at 8:15. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just need to know when to fold them, and not burn yourself or tire yourself out. That's the main theme that's coming up here within this energy. Mercury retrograde definitely is going to change the conversation, but for the better. Queen of Pentacles coming in here is stability as well. This also, okay, this Queen of Pentacles is coming in here and talking about the fact that the Capricorn energy, we have done what we needed to do. This is due diligence energy, Capricornius energy at this point. We should have our thoughts in a row. We're communicating beautifully with other people. We are grounded. We get an opportunity to get a little bit more grounded this week if we've been having a little problem, and that is all good in the hood, so to speak. The moon will also technically be moving out of Leo and into Capricorn, effectively the 12th and 13th, just to put it out there. And then we have the Chariot card, no holds barred, go ahead and go, all things are beautiful. And now we have the 5 of Wands in the reverse. So whatever stress was going on here with mental thoughts, we've let all of that go, or whoever else is involved in the situation or the party is feeling a little bit better. So the last week that we have here, because you end off Capricorn going into the sign of Libra, which we know is your opposite sign in the chart, moon being in Libra, and the energy of the other planets that are supporting the moon is going to go and have a trine with Pluto. It's going to have a sextile with Mercury, and it is going to end up with the sextile with you on the energy of the 15th. So it ends up well during that week. Last major card that we have here is the Ace of Pentacles. That is literally net new, in your hands, new opportunity, all things rocking out in a very beautiful way. Let's just move these over just a little bit. Last week of Scorpio season, one more time, 0 planets on the 16th of the month. The 16th of the month, 0 planetary changes. The only thing that is in the heavens is the moon being in the sign of Libra. So, no changes for you on that week at all. And then on the 17th, the moon, guess what it does? It moves back into Scorpio at 4:44 p.m. All right, now we have the King of Pentacles in the reverse position. So the King of Pentacles technically is Virgo energy, okay? This is also Virgo energy, with it being grounded, or maybe something is not quite grounded. It's just not the communication necessarily how we want to have it. Although there are no negative aspects going for you, it's just okay, wait, what? It's sort of like a review. And again, we're in Mercury retrograde, and those are all the things that need to be done anyway. That's what this universe is saying. 7 of Wands in the sideways position here. What you need to do is focus on maintaining. You're not too far left, not too far right. Just continue to maintain here with the 7 of Wands, and all will be brilliant for you. Just hang in there. Just hang in there. When we get towards the middle of that week, like the 19th, just before we get to the full moon, we do have the World card in reverse that indicates Saturnian energy. Again, could be Capricornius energy. There are no major red flags that are showing up in the chart for you. However, you probably are going to want to pay attention to where Saturn is in your own personal chart. You do have strong alignments and positive trines with it, but Saturn is going to be doing some of its own thing with alignment, specifically with Jupiter towards the end. But again, Mercury is retrograde, and when we have the Mercury retrograde in this configuration, even though it's in Sagittarius, there will be 1 or 2 different days towards this week where there's going to be some positive days and some negative days with communication with about Saturn or Saturn money, resources, work. And again, if this is relationship, it just could be that things are okay. We're not looking to make too many more big changes. The World in reverse means we haven't completed a cycle yet. So there might be a little bit more to come. Nothing crazy or negative that I'm seeing at all. Your chart, your actual details of the energy is sort of matching itself perfectly, and there you go. That is how they want it to be read. They want me to leave it at the end of the King of Wands here, and this is you just hang in there. Maybe there's 1 or 2 minor things that have to get looked at, but overall, this entire Scorpio season, while we're looking at mega big changes for a lot of people, the cardinal signs, the cardinal cross that has been in the alignment and will continue to be there, we talked about it on the daily astrology, is forcing all of the cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Libras, and Capricorns, to lead the charge in their area. And of course, you're getting some support with Libra. You're getting support with the energy of Capricorn as well. And even the Cancerian energy that shows up on the 9th and the 10th is actually not necessarily negative. For the most part, everything looks fluid. Again, the bigger energy is this is indirect ways that you personally are dealing with things. Again, Scorpio energy is important this season because it's going to change the dynamic of a lot of things for people for the long haul. So this week, just keep it open. Allow this new moon energy that showed up here, this new Libra moon, that changed into Scorpio moon the same day. Let that energy drive the wishes and the wants that you started off with. It will end up yielding fruit. Okay, the same card. It's exactly what it's saying here. If there needs to be some conversations that pop out of the woodwork, do we do this first, second, or third with a contract? Allow yourself to be settled in the fact that whatever needs to shake up is going to shake up. Whatever adjustments need to be adjusted are going to show up. If you're looking at this from a financial perspective, if you're looking at this from, I don't know, let's look at it from a child support or inheritance or indirect ways, again, that you make money. Again, even if you're a business owner and you have clientele coming in, if you have a residual sort of a process, it all looks well. Everything looks like it's building up for you personally, financially, even without you doing the work. And again, if this is a little less resource-based for you and it's more people-based, sacral chakra-based, this actually looks like it's a fairly great month, okay? Moon reverse, Magician reverse, Star card with the moon again. I'm just looking at the major arcana. High Priestess agreeing with laying low down here with Virgo. And then you have all speed ahead with the Chariot coming in here, this Cancerian energy that shows up to assist and flow in the long-term success. The only thing that you need to do here is be prepared to make decisions about resource spend, because when you do get it in your hot hands, or when you see the renewal, or when you see the new energy coming in within the relationship of how this is working, just hang in there. Just hang in there, because everything else lands in your favor. That King of Wands ending the beautiful energy of what Sagittarius is actually bringing. So this represents Sagittarius here. And Five of Wands reversed at the end of the day means that everybody is getting what they need in the most brilliant way. Anything else you want me to pull out, Spirit Team? Yes. So we're going to pull one oracle card. We're going to pull the Energy Oracle. And again, this is just specifically to address all of the shifts and changes in the Scorpio season, okay? With Mercury going retrograde, changing the communication style. Aries comes out smelling like a wiener. Energy Oracle for our Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Aries, contracts. Anything else? Anything else for Aries? We're going to focus on those contracts. Maybe you're going to need to focus on where contracts need to be adjusted. Victory at the end of the day, if you can keep momentum. And there it is. I was waiting for that guy to show up. Heart-based energy. So, heart-based energy, Four of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles. Let's look at this from just a pure energy perspective. Contracts are going to be changing. Wherever you felt like you were having issues before, that is going to come to an end. Be really truthful about where things are for you and the other people that are involved in those situations. In other words, keep everyone's best interests at heart. Fourth chakra energy showing up here. Main energy for you is making sure that you are keeping still within your thought process, and make sure, because this card does represent connecting the heart space back into your crown and your third eye, make sure that you're keeping things on a swivel. Aries, this is absolutely going to be a brilliant changing of the season. This is going to be a brilliant opportunity for you to experience something, especially, like I said, your very best days coming up here in November, the 11th and 12th. Keep those critical days in place. Again, look at your sun, moon, rising. Look at anywhere else you have major planetary placements. If you're looking for a personal session, personal reading, or if you need your chart updated or done, then please take a look at the description box in the bio, and I would be happy to support you. All the details are in each of the services that I provide. However, you can reach out phone, email, and chat through the website. Many blessings, Aries. Congratulations. Spend it wisely. And we'll talk to you soon. Many blessings. Bye.